Heartbreaking loss, guys. Just very, very heartbreaking. The New York Knicks dropped to 9-11 on the season, losing to the Memphis Grizzlies, the final score being 127 to 123. And this was a huge game. I definitely wanted to win. Obviously, I want to win every game, but I want to get rid of that narrative that we only beat these 500 teams or 500 teams and below. I want to beat a team that's over 500 and has really proven themselves in this league. Because if I'm being real with you guys, when it comes to competition that we have beat, we've proven that we're mediocre and we need to make a statement win. And I wanted to put that to bed tonight. I wanted to put that to rest by beating the Memphis Grizzlies, a team that we went down to the wire against when it came to opening night, that we folded against in overtime. We're going up against a superstar level talent of Ja Morant. We're going up against one of the best offensive rebounders of Steven Adams. We're going up against a guy of even Dillon Brooks, who's a very versatile defensive player. You have one of the best backup guards on that team as well. Jaren Jackson Jr., his versatility on the defense side of the basketball, his ability to just have flexible hips and defend the perimeter and have this great amount of versatility and shoot the three ball at times. He's athletic. He's definitely a unique specimen in this league. I'm like, I want the Knicks to win this game. And the New York Knicks were so damn close when it came to winning this game. And by the way, this team played with heart. I'm not going to say we played smart because we didn't consistently play smart for 48 minutes of basketball. But no doubt about it, I thought the Knicks played extremely hard and I thought they played with tons of heart. But I bet if you asked every player on this roster, there's at least, it seems like every player on this roster had a mental error throughout this game. Again, everyone played hard. But Jalen Brunson, we didn't even know if he was going to play in this game. Questionable with a quad injury. Cam Reddish comes back as well. And both of those guys played absolutely brilliant in this game. Mitchell Robinson, maybe you could say he's 100%, maybe he's not. He's still kind of recovering when it comes to getting back in basketball shape, maybe coming back from that injury, but maybe he was in basketball shape already entering this game. He was fantastic. He really was. The adjustments we made on the defense side of the basketball, we allowed a couple backdoor cuts. At least when it came to the beginning of the game, we made adjustments. There were still some mistakes that we have to clean up when it comes to defending the perimeter. And another thing, that was one of the main reasons we lost. Yes, you could say anyone could have won this game. This was anyone's ball game at the end of the day, the way this game really ended up being. But it was just very frustrating, and there's a chance we could have even been up 5 or 6 points if we were able to clean up this department, be up 5 or 6 points when it came to the fourth quarter. But Mitchell Robinson's awareness on defense, this was probably one of his best games as a pro defensively, and I really loved Tom Thibodeau's game plan on Ja Morant. Especially in that first half. We did a good job blitzing him. We did a good job double teaming him. Mitchell Robinson did a good job getting the deflections. He did a good job getting blocked shots as well. Cutting off those passing lanes. Cutting off those whip passes to the corner at times as well. We forced some travels on him. We forced him to be in a really frustrated state of mind when it came to beginning of this basketball game. But obviously knowing Ja Morant, he's still capable of getting 6 assists on when it comes to an off quarter or an off half. He's just that special of a ball player when it comes to his twitchiness and just his overall athleticism. But I thought Mitch was just a beast catching these lobs, getting offensive rebounds. He even knocked down a few free throws in this game. I was proud of Mitch when it came to that as well. But one thing that we got to clean up, it's not just Mitch, this overall ball club, we got to learn how to box out. It just happened in huge moments. It happened in the first half. Whenever we would build momentum, we would allow a second chance opportunity. I understand Steven Adams is one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, but at some point, you got to be I'm putting my body on the line here. I'm coming up with a huge offensive rebound. There was a couple times that I'm we're just standing around. If it was RJ, if it was Randall, just even Mitch at times, even though Mitch was amazing on defense and he's a great offensive rebounder and he got some key defensive rebounds, but there's times also that I'm come on, put a body on him. Or I would have liked to see Sims out there instead of Hartenstein because Sims does a better job positioning himself for rebounds and he's more athletic and he could sky above the rim more. So I wish we actually saw Sims in this game in moments more than a Hartenstein, in my opinion, especially when it came to this personnel. So I love the adjustments we made defensively, but there's still moments we left guys open outside on the perimeter, which we definitely need to clean up. But I do think the perimeter defense, at least maybe it's because my standards are set so low, that it is better compared to that Boston game, how atrocious that was. I do think we're starting to clean it up, but there's still things that we definitely need to fix when it comes to that department. Brunson, I thought, was kind of pressing in certain moments, which is crazy to say because he had such an amazing game, especially when it mattered most in that fourth quarter. And I know some people were going to hate on Brunson for moments in the fourth quarter that we're going to be getting into, but sometimes I thought he forced shots when I thought he should have moved the ball because I thought we did a very good job moving the ball. I got to give credit to RJ Barrett. I really did like the brand of basketball RJ Barrett played. I didn't think he was pressing out there. I didn't think he was necessarily taking bad shots. Obviously, he hit his first shot when he had that push, high arcing shot, and he just let the game come to him. which I really did love. His buckets came within the flow of the offense. If it was a couple catch and shoot threes, if it was even a huge put up in the interior, good finish in the interior as well. So I did like his decisions of knowing when to attack downhill, or I'm going to have good body control here and protect the ball so Steven Adams doesn't block it. I'm going to be less predictable. So that body control that we saw from RJ last season, I definitely thought showed up in this game. When it came to defensively, though, there was some moments that really frustrated me that I'm like, there has to be more effort there. How do we just allow right off an inbound? I forgot if it was Dylan Brooks. Or Brandon Clark. I believe it was Dylan Brooks. We just allowed Dylan Brooks to cut right to the basket and get an easy layup. I'm like, all right, there's no help there, but RJ, you have to be more competitive there and stay in front of him more. There was just moments from this overall ball club that we have to be better on the defense side of the basketball. But when it came to Grimes, I love the way Grimes played. He had some very nice defensive possessions on John Moran. I thought he did a good job on this game when he was up on John Moran. I believe he forced 3 turnovers on a John Moran. Grimes, maybe from a statistical standpoint, his points weren't crazy, but he made really nice passes out there. And one of the key things is his assists might have not been crazy. I haven't looked at the box score yet, but he does a good job making that extra pass. And he was one of the main reasons we were in this game. Definitely when you take a look at the brand of basketball that Quentin Grimes went on to play, because obviously this was a very close game. When it came to halftime, we were down 54-52, but we did a good job making it tough on John Morant, and Grimes did a good job cutting without the basketball. I just thought there was more movement. When we were giving up the ball, when someone would give up the ball, it seemed like someone was cutting constantly, which I loved from Tom Thibodeau's system. I don't know if it was just the players doing that or Tom Thibodeau told the players to do that as well. And even when Quickly came in there, I thought he made some nice reads. He did a very good job when it came to having this unpredictability outside on the perimeter when he was breaking Jared Jackson Jr. down off the dribble, who's one of the best shot blockers, and he made an all-defensive team before. Like when it comes to his NBA career, he hit him with a little head fake, got to the basket, finished it, and I believe like it was a continuation and had an and one as well. So I really did like the way the bench played outside of Hartenstein. Hartenstein had some frustrating moments. He has some nice like putbacks, but I don't know. He just looks erratic. Got to give credit to Mitch. When it came to that first half, I got to give credit to RJ Barrett. I just have to give RJ Barrett credit throughout this entire game. Like, I didn't think he had tunnel vision. He knew when to give up the basketball. His IQ, he was just really locked in, and you could tell he's watching the film and really making adjustments to his game. And everyone's going to look at, but he didn't have 30 points. But if you watch the game, you saw his true impact, just making the right play out there on the floor. And Randall hit a huge 3 in a moment as well when it came to that first half. I didn't think Randall really forced the issue as well. I like the way Randall played. There's no one that really like pissed me off in this game, to be completely honest with you guys. Like, everyone did have their moments, but I thought everyone played hard and everyone played as a team, honestly, and played as a collective unit. And we're going to be better if we continue to play like that on offense personally. But yeah, just the perimeter defense sometimes does need work, though. There was a couple plays I believe we left Dylan Brooks wide open for a 3. He's not known as a 3-point shooter, but the last thing you want is not giving a 3-point shooter confidence. We had some stupid fouls. There's some calls that were bad, but then there was times that I'm like, all right, could we stop using our hands there and start playing defense with our feet? And then to close out that half, we actually left a Jaren Jackson Jr. wide open for a 3, which caused them to be up 2 points when we could have been up 1, I believe, because he knocked down the 3. It was 54-52. We just left Jaren Jackson Jr. wide open. Just Randall had a couple of those moments. Those are the moments that I'm talking about, that we can't leave guys just alone cutting backdoor or leaving them open outside on the perimeter. Those are very frustrating moments because I'm like, all right, that's a stop we could have had there. Or like we could have crashed the glass in a certain situation as well and got another extra possession, but we didn't box out. Brunson did go down with an ankle injury in that first quarter as well that I should talk about, but he did return to this game. Like, he faced some adversity, and I thought he just absolutely played his ass off. So we're down 54-52 when it came to that first half, and what's going through my mind is that no one's really popping off offensively. I think everyone's playing solid, but no one's putting up crazy numbers, if you know what I mean. Like, even Cam Reddish came off the bench, was playing some solid defense for someone that hasn't played basketball for a few days, and he was cutting and playing extremely hard out there. But the reality is RJ wasn't really having a pop game. Brunson wasn't really having a pop game during this time. I'm like, we need someone to pop off, even if it's Quickly coming off the bench, just giving us so much momentum to really try to put this game away or just be really close and competitive in this game down the wire. And another thing, we were just like atrocious from beyond the arc. We were getting some points in the interior, but our 3-point shooting was just god awful. It was just really, really bad. And we know we're not a great 3-point shooting team, but eventually we needed some to fall because it's 2022 In basketball nowadays, you got to be able to play defense and you got to be able to knock down threes. And the New York Knicks were not knocking down threes barely, like at all, when it came to that first half. But the third quarter was kind of scary, to be completely honest with you guys, because it looked like the Grizzlies, were actually playing their game. So you have Dylan Brooks, who's being a very aggressive, working downhill, getting buckets when it comes to his strength. You have Steven Adams, who's killing it in the interior. We're not boxing out. John Morant looks comfortable. It just looks like they made adjustments to what we were doing to John Morant, blitzing him, making him feel uncomfortable. He did a good job distributing the ball. He did a good job working downhill. Just the creativity, the acrobatic moves by John Morant were just absolutely incredible. So they're on this 9-0 run. I believe they're up like 8 or 9 points around this time. But I thought the New York Knicks did a very good job responding to adversity. RJ ended up knocking down a huge three. Grimes had a ridiculously amazing dime to Mitchell Robinson when it came to the interior. And Grimes also made this extra pass to find Brunson. He kicked it outside. So I thought Grimes played a pretty complete game. But this is the thing. When we would cut it to a 4 or 5 point game, even in the third quarter, we would leave someone open outside on the perimeter. We would allow dribble penetration. Or we just wouldn't box out and we would give them a second chance opportunity. And Steven Adams just absolutely killed us. And I believe he killed us when it came to opening night as well, when it came to the interior. John Morant was getting very comfortable, but then you see Derrick Rose respond with some buckets, and then you saw Cam Reddish respond with some buckets as well, or he had a very nice bucket that he had a Euro step and worked down the lane. So this was a interesting third quarter because it was definitely the Grizzlies' quarter when it came to rebounding, physicality, hitting their shots. We were inconsistent when it came to that third quarter. It just seems like there's a history. It doesn't matter who our coach is, David Fizdale, Jeff Hornacek, Tom Thibodeau. We have a history when it comes to being bad in the third quarter. So we're down 10 entering the fourth quarter. I'm like, all right, at the beginning of this fourth quarter, we got to get this close because the way our perimeter defense is, we can't allow us to be down like 13 at the beginning of this fourth quarter and try to come back. Because then eventually, if we do get buckets, I'm afraid they're going to pile on from beyond the arc, and it's just going to be too little, too late, that type of thing. So, and by the way, also Quickly actually got hurt in that third quarter as well. Quickly did not return when it came to a knee injury. I believe he did not return in this basketball game. And I love the way we opened up that fourth quarter. RJ did a really good job manipulating, just probing around. He found Mitchell Robinson for a dunk. Obi Toppin ended up knocking down a three as well. Obi knocked down some huge buckets, but his defense, I'm not going to lie, really did frustrate me. When it came to the defense side of the basketball, he really frustrated me in that fourth quarter. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I just thought he was getting bitched around, and I just thought he didn't do a good job holding position. Jaren Jackson Jr. just drove right over him. He just bulldozed him to the basket, which I was not a big fan of. He committed some dumb fouls, and I just feel like he wasn't in the right spot at the right time sometimes when it came to the interior when his man would be in there. He got his huge buckets. RJ ended up knocking down a huge three as well. So I got to give credit to RJ there, and he also had a huge bucket when it came to the interior. But it just continued to be a theme that we just can't box out in these big moments. We'll cut it to a 5. We'll cut it to a 6-point game. But the New York Knicks just flat out need to learn how to box out. I don't care what the personnel is. Work on it in practice. Learn how to front your man. Or just put Jericho Sims in the game. He just knows how to rebound the basketball. He does, and I thought that should have been an adjustment by Tom Thibodeau. There's not much to complain about when it comes to Tom Thibodeau personally in this game, in my opinion, but I thought we should have threw Jericho Sims in the game. That's just my thought. And also, when we're coming back in this game, we're getting things going offensively. We're just chilling on defense, like I mentioned, the lapses of Obi, but then I brought up how RJ just allowed someone to cut back door on a possession, and RJ needs to be better sometimes when it comes to defense, navigating those screens, working around them better, because sometimes he could be very late on a contest. I'm not sure if it's a scheme we run defensively, but that was a very frustrating part of the game as well. But Cam Reddish was definitely huge when it came to that fourth quarter. Cam Reddish, so Mitchell Robinson did a good job of getting to the free throw line, and because he had a huge and-one because of Cam Reddish had this amazing pass to Mitchell Robinson. I believe it was the possession that Mitchell Robinson got to the free throw line. He went 1 for 2. The second one he missed, but we came up with it, and Cam Reddish just threw a bullet to Mitchell Robinson. He threw it down and one, and he even executed on the free throw, which just gave me so much hope, which we ended up cutting it to a 4-point game. But I thought Cam Reddish, that narrative that I was even scared of, that he doesn't play with much of a motor, how much does he really care? That was a huge thing with him coming out of the draft in 2019. Why did the Hawks just give up on him and just move on from him? is it true that he just can't be a contributing factor because he doesn't care that much? But this dude has just played with such a high motive this year, and it just shows that he's playing with that it factor and he cares. He doesn't care about his stats. He's trying to impact winning basketball, and he definitely has done that on both ends of the floor when he's checking the game. And credit to Tom Thibodeau for giving Grimes minutes, for giving Reddish minutes, even threw McBride in there for a couple minutes. He's making sure that everyone's getting minutes, and Rose got minutes as well, just making sure everyone is finding a way to contribute for this team and trying to find a role for everyone, even though it's been very interesting when it's come to the rotations. And also, Cam Reddish does a good job just manipulating guys off the dribble, and I just love Cam Reddish's off the dribble move. Like his off the dribble moves, like really getting to the basket. He had a nice drive to the basket. He cut it to a 3-point game. And then one play that really frustrated me, I think it was Aldama. I believe it was Aldama at the top of my head. He hit some like back-breaking shots at times, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're coming back, he hits a big shot. It's either Konkar or Aldama. Aldama was like working on the lane, or Konkar. I thought Mitch had a clean block, but they call a foul. I'm like, we're coming back, we're down 3, and they really call that BS. So we challenge it. Good challenge by Tom Thibodeau. I believe we scratched the top of his head a little bit, but they ended up reversing the call, and we ended up with the ball afterwards. Like it landed in Brunson's hands after we blocked the shot, so it actually ended up being Knicks basketball. We're down 3. I'm like, this is a huge chance for us to really prove ourselves here. So Brunson ends up hitting a ridiculous fadeaway jumper, and then we cut it to a 1-point game as well. And then the Grizzlies, of course, respond. But Cam Reddish ends up hitting just a ridiculous left wing 3-ball. I was like, I don't know about that shot. Let's continue to move the ball, work yourselves in the interior. We're up 1 point. But right after that, the Garden's going crazy. Ja Morant just responds, drives down the lane, gets a bucket, and then the Grizzlies actually go on to be up in this game. We allow an offensive rebound, so then they're up 3, I believe, in this instance, because we allowed Steven Adams to get an offensive rebound. So they're up 3. I'm like, how are the New York Knicks really going to respond in this moment? So we're down 3. Jalen Brunson ends up hitting a huge mid-range jumper. Then Brunson responds with a huge 3. 30 seconds left. RJ has this huge finish in the interior. Brunson also ends up getting fouled because at first, so Brooks tripped him up. He didn't mean to foul him, and Brooks was very frustrated. He ended up fouling out of this game. We ended up taking a 1-point lead when it came to the free throw line. Jalen Brunson knocked down both free throws. He's been lethal from the free throw line. But this is what hurt me the most here. We're up 1 point. Ja Morant has the basketball. He drives down the lane. You have RJ, you have Mitch in the interior, packing the paint, making sure he doesn't get to that teardrop. He does some acrobatic move in the air. We get a stop, but not really, because we back off of Ja Morant. We're scared to foul him, so he gets his own rebound, puts it up and in. That was just so ridiculously frustrating. And then they're up once again. And that's what pretty much put it away, because Ja Morant ended up getting that bucket when there's 20 seconds left. And then we have plenty of time, though. After he gets that bucket that puts them up 1, we have 14, 15 seconds, or we have plenty of time during this moment to get a quality shot off, maybe 17 seconds. Brunson has a look for mid-range territory. Too strong off the back iron. He misses the shot there, so then we have to do the foul game. But we're in good shape, because we foul Morant. He goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. So then we're only down 2. There's 6 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Brunson got a step, personally, I thought, on Brandon Clark, but Brandon Clark had a very nice last-second contest. He has long arms. Brunson went on to miss that floater, and that pretty much put it away, because if we fouled Jaren Jackson Jr., there was 0.3 seconds left when we fouled him. We just had to hope for 2 misses. All he had to make was 1, because you can't get a 3-point shot off in 0.3 seconds. So the New York Knicks lose 127 to 123.